Hey there, guys! Portal Master 9351 here, live! So, this is my very first official live stream. I have no idea how long this is going to go on for. However long I can keep talking. And I got a water bottle right here, so that should be a while. So, first things first, let me do an intro. So, as you know, this is my first ever live stream, and I'm planning on talking about some interesting subjects. I'm going to be talking about how I got into Skylanders, when I got into Skylanders, and why I got into Skylanders. Next up, I'm going to be looking at Skylanders versus Disney Infinity versus Amiibo. Then I'm going to look at the year past in Skylanders, 2014. And then I'm going to kind of predict what I think that we'll see for this year in the future, or 2015, which is including, but is not limited to, Wave 4, Wave 5, Skylanders 5, and Skylanders 5 story, characters, and other things. Next up, I'm going to be sort of talking about my channel, specifically Who's That Skylander. Then I'm going to be showing you what I've gotten all through today, Skylanders related, which is pretty good, and it's right behind me. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pretty good. And then I'm going to be showing you something that kind of was, I could consider, the very first Toys to Life video game, which was not Skylanders, and in fact made many years before Skylanders. If any one of you have any questions, I don't know of the way that I can, I know I had said that if you had any questions, I would be able to answer them, but unfortunately, with the way that I'm live streaming this, I cannot see the live chat. If I can figure out how to do that, then I'll take questions, or I'll just answer them in a separate video. But anyways, yeah. And then I'll do the outro. And if I think of anything else in between now and then, well, I'll cover it. So, I want to say a few things about the live stream. This is the first one, January 10th. And so I'm kind of wanting to be able to do these every other month. So, like, I'm doing one now, maybe one in March, and then one in May. And if there's any interesting news in Skylanders, I'll cancel the nearest live stream and reschedule it for as soon as possible. So, like, when Skylanders 5 is revealed, if I don't have another live stream planned for a month, I'll go ahead and move forward and go ahead and do it, soon after, or, as far as E3 or any of that stuff is concerned, I'll just adjust accordingly. I thought that was something I should throw in there. So now I'm going to talk about how I got into Skylanders and why I got into Skylanders. So over here, you can see SSA, my SSA figures. I have all 37 of them, which is every figure excluding the volcanic ball. I got that one back in Christmas 2011, and I just got the 3DS starter pack. I didn't get any of the figures, just the starter pack. Immediately afterwards, I got the Voodoo Boomer Prison Break 3-pack. I guess you wouldn't say immediately after, but it was definitely before 2012 started. I had already gotten the 3-pack. I was pretty much hooked. From there, I got Hex, and then I believe I got the Empire of Ice expansion pack. And then from there, I slowly started to get more and more figures. Then for my birthday, my generous grandmother bought me SSA for the Wii, and I loved that so many times more than the 3DS version. And by then I was pretty much dedicated into getting them all. Eventually, I completed my collection when I stumbled upon Whamshell at a Kmart in the summer of 2012. So yeah. And then I shortly after my birthday found out about Skylanders Giants. I wasn't involved with that one from the very beginning, but I did know about it prior to E3 2012. So that was how I got into Skylanders. Now why? Well, see, prior to Christmas, I had been seeing the commercials, on TV. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Who would have thought of making a game that could, you could put a figure in the real world and then have it be in the digital world? I thought that was insane. Hold up, I've got to put an alert down right here. Okay, here we go. So I thought that was just really cool. And because of that, I just kept talking about it. And eventually, my parents got it for me for Christmas. So yeah. And so why I'm still into Skylanders? I'm still into Skylanders now because it brings a very unique element to the table. And I don't mean like water, fire element. I mean element of gameplay. It's so unique to be able to be like, okay, I want to put Nightlight in here right now. But, I mean, it's just a matter of that I can put in him and pull him off and then put in Nightmare. I love that concept. And it's just expanded upon every year. SSA brought Toys to Life. Giants brought forth increased size figures and light cores as their technological innovation. Swap Force introduced characters that could be broken apart and reformed and displayed in game. And Trap Team brought life to toys. So that's why I'm still into Skylanders. Even today, that's why I'm still into Skylanders. So now we're on to Skylanders versus Disney Infinity versus Amiibo. That was basically it for how I got into it and why I got into it. So let's start off with Skylanders. So obviously, if you're watching this, this is probably the one you're most familiar with. First one on the market came to light in 2011. Originally, there was going to be a game called Spyro's Kingdom, which had much more to do with Spyro himself. Welcome, fourth viewer, to my live stream. It was something completely different than it was now. Spyro's Kingdom was originally going to have 5 characters. It was Ghost Eater, which eventually evolved into Ghost Roaster, Rock Dragon or something like that, that evolved into Bash, and then there were a few others. There was the Red Dragon, which eventually evolved into Spyro, and there were 2 others. There were Tarklops, who eventually evolved into Zap, and Bomb Troll, who eventually evolved into Boomer. Those 5 original characters. I'm not sure if it was Toys to Life at that point. I've never actually seen where it says that it was going to be Toys to Life originally. But I know that the original concept was that Spyro kind of ruled over this kingdom, and you would go to him, and you would get quests. And eventually they decided that, wait, instead of that, we have these characters. What if we could, put these characters in on demand and still have them in the physical world? And eventually, Spyro's Kingdom was scrapped, and it was turned into Skylanders. But what you may or may not know is before Spyro's Kingdom, there was a whole nother idea that's never really covered. It never actually got very far, this project, but it was going to be an M for mature Spyro game. It was going to be a deeper and darker Spyro game with a ton of blood and gore, apparently originally. But then they decided that's nothing like Spyro. So instead of making this mean, ferocious purple dragon, they decided to make him a mutilated purple dragon, which is what a lot of original Spyro fans say, because he looks nothing like the original Spyro, but you can still tell that he's Spyro. So that was kind of how Skylanders came to be, and then, SSA, then Giants, Swap Force, and then Trap Team. So Skylanders sort of, as I said, was the first on the market. Because of that, they sort of retain through these other 2 companies coming in, Nintendo and Disney, some of the 2 powerhouses of marketing and video gaming and all that stuff, 2 powerhouses trying to compete with a 3rd powerhouse, which is in fact Activision. They are most certainly a video game powerhouse, considering that they have Call of Duty and some other really, really well-known games. So, but through all that, Skylanders still retains a form of originality, and it definitely is the most innovative one. Because not only did it invent Toys to Life, but it also kind of brought forth light cores, which none of the other 2 companies have utilized yet. Swappability, which I still think it's amazing that you can transmit data with magnets. And then we have Trap Team, where you can bring life to toys. So it has such a unique gameplay, as opposed to Amiibo and Disney Infinity, which it's older characters that are being used in a new way. So that's sort of something that Skylanders has going for it and going against it. It doesn't have it doesn't have old characters, it has original characters. And I think that the fact that they're able to produce as many original characters as they do is a pretty impressive feat, if you ask me. So that's sort of what some of the strength and background of Skylanders. And so now we're on to Infinity. Infinity uses a very, very different character style. Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions has a very, very, very unique character style. While I think the thing with Disney Infinity is they're sort of limited with what they can and they can't do. Because Disney is sort of a control freak with them. You know, and it's all a particular style. We're taking characters, we're taking the Marvel superheroes, we're taking Frozen, we're taking Phineas and Ferb, we're taking all kinds of characters, and we're putting them into one style of art. If you'll notice, there's a very distinct difference between certain forms of cartoon art. Like, there's anime, and then, there's the bubbly kind of kids stuff. There is what Skylanders basically is, what Disney Infinity basically is, and just some other subcategories of animation. And the thing about Disney Infinity is it's taking like I said, it's taking all those other styles and putting them in one style, which can't be easy, but it's a little constraining, I think, as far as possibilities go. Something I read back when Swap Force and Infinity were kind of the two, like how is Infinity going to affect Skylanders? What I read was Infinity might be able to continue pumping out characters because of how many characters Disney happens to have. But the thing is, you'll never ever see Infinity characters break apart. You'll never have Rocket, which is a combination of Drax and Rocket. You'll never have a Perry the Platypus and Donald Duck hybrid. You'll never ever have that. And trapping just doesn't even make sense in Infinity. And another thing that about Infinity is that it's much more pricey for a sort of dulled down character, which is just my opinion. As far as gameplay goes, it really isn't the same thing as Skylanders at all, and I think that's something a lot of people overlook. I mean, they have racing, they have all other they have, fighting, all styles of gameplay, and then they have the toy box. So, I mean, I think that Infinity is sort of meant for a whole different group than Skylanders. And I think that that's sort of what keeps them separate. I don't really think that they affect each other sales-wise. That's just my opinion. Now we're on to Amiibo, which is in a class of its own. Well, sort of not. It uses Toys to Life, which was invented by Skylanders, and it uses Toys to Life, but it uses it in a different way, as opposed to Skylanders and Infinity, which have a set game that they have to use. Amiibos are very unique because they function in many different game modes. I wouldn't actually, maybe not many, but they definitely function in more than one. For example, I can take a Link Amiibo, and I can use them in Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, and Hyrule Warriors. So it's very, very different, and it's not like it doesn't bring as much content forth per game. What it does is it spreads that content out. So because of that, Amiibo is very, very different, and it sort of brings a forward compatibility with it. For as long as they're going to make Nintendo games, they're pretty much going to make Amiibos compatible until people stop buying them. So it's actually a really good investment to buy Amiibos because you'll be able to use them in many more games. So Amiibo is very, very different from Skylanders. I know I'm saying very, very, very a lot. But it's just so different from Skylanders and Infinity that it's sort of off in its own little world. And that's why I think that the three really do not affect each other much in sales. Now, the most annoying thing about Amiibo is it uses stands on their figures, as opposed to, let me grab a Skylander that is kind of little, I guess, flimsy. Well, so let's take a Series 1 Chop Chop, for example, right here. If this was an Amiibo figure, they would have put a little stand right there to stabilize him. which is something that sort of takes away from the illusion of the figure's overall aesthetic appeal with the little clear pole. So that's just, I think that's the most annoying thing. Or, no, sorry, that's one of the most annoying things. The most annoying thing is they block the chip. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you take a Skylander, and you're probably going to, after I say this, be trying this at home. My understanding is if you take a piece of aluminum foil and put it right beneath the Skylander and on top of the portal won't read the Skylander. But then as soon as you take the aluminum foil away, it'll read the Skylander again, is my understanding. And that's basically what Amiibo has done with their figures. But again, that's done because they more do unlockables rather than full-fledged gaming experience. So it's kind of understandable why they did that, but at the same time, it's just flat out annoying. So next up, I'm going to be looking at the year in review, 2014, Skylanders 2014. So January, we really didn't have much of anything in January 2014. We originally thought that the domain names were going to be registered at that point, but they were not. So really, January, nothing in 2014. Then we move into February. February was the 2014 Toy Fair, as it is every February. And we were very surprised because they announced beforehand that we weren't going to see any Skylanders 4 there. But what they did do was they showed off the Mega Bloks set, which had, correct me if I'm wrong, it had a Golden Lion guy, Thor Loki Hammer guy, Undead Scrap Not Scrap Giant guy, which is basically Wildfire, Wallop, and Crypt King. And then it had the guy everybody thought was named Ranger, which turned out to be Snapshot. We didn't see any traps, though. We thought at that point, excuse me, that there were a couple possible names. Crystal Energies, Crystal Rangers, and then I thought it was going to be Rangers. I don't need to explain why. No. March was, again, completely drought. Well, actually, wait, I'm not on February. Later in February, we saw the first contest for Skylanders that wasn't just called to win. We saw the naming contest of High Five, Bat Spin, and Flip Rack. So we did get to see 3 Skylanders, and at that point, we definitely knew that we were getting something new very, very soon. March, again, nothing in March as far as Skylanders 4 went. In April, we actually got the official reveal. And so, that was very, very exciting. We didn't get anything for May. And then in June, I believe June, maybe, yeah, mid-June, we had E3. And I don't think we learned a lot at E3. In July, we had the Home Interleak, which revealed Bushwhack, Lobstar, Head Rush, Shredhead, Fist Bump, Deja Vu, and Blades. And so that was very, very exciting, and that was why I got that copyright strike originally. But now that that's free, I can make live streams, so no harm, no foul in all. And then, really, we learned a little bit in August. We learned about a few new villains in August. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, we didn't really have anything except for late September when we finally got the website updated. And then October the 5th, which is the day we learned about Light and Dark. Excuse me. So, and was also the day that it got released in Australia. And then later, less than a week later, we got it in the States. Haven't had anything since then in regards to Skylanders. Now, coming up, this is 2015. Let me get a sip of my water. Coming up in a little bit more than 1 month, we have the 2015 New York Toy Fair. Skylanders will, and I repeat, will be there. Does that mean we're going to see Skylanders 5? I don't know. I can't tell you. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. But it's a relatively big room that they have. So it really wouldn't surprise me if they have Skylanders 5 there, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't have Skylanders 5 there. So that's, I mean, we can always hope. We can always hope. And I don't know if there's going to be a naming contest again or not. I would really hope that there's another naming contest for 3 new Skylanders. And again, it would really surprise me if they did, or it wouldn't really surprise me if they did, and it wouldn't really surprise me if they didn't. So either way. And then coming up in June, we'll pretty much see E3, and we'll see some new stuff there. And then we'll probably see an early October release date again. And then Wave 4, I have a page over here. I think that we'll see, and so this is all of 2015. That was Sky 5. This is Wave 4. I think we'll see Wave 4 in late March, and we'll see the release of some new Trap Masters and some new cores. I have a separate video on that, but this is a brief little synopsis. Wave 5 we'll see in like late May, early June. So we'll see the final bit of everything get released. Love Potion Pop Fizz is supposedly coming out on the 15th of this month. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I've heard. Hello, 6 viewers. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Wave 5 and Wave 4. But yeah. So now I'm going to sort of be talking about my channel and everything my channel related. So my channel, as you know, is started small, and it's getting bigger every day. Currently, it's sitting at 314 subscribers, which is pretty good, and around 65,000 overall video views. One of the overarching series that I've always had is Who's That Skylander, and it is returning soon, and very, very soon. Soon, and very, 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 very soon. It's going to feature a very, very, very unique, I have to stop saying very, very, very. It's going to feature an exciting new gimmick that I think you guys are going to enjoy. While I'm sitting there guessing these Skylanders, Tolkien Fan Forever will be standing right beside of me, timing me to see how long it takes me to guess the figures. Then we're going to add up the amount of time it takes me to guess all the figures, average it together, and we're going to get the episode average time. At the end of the season, we'll average all those times together, and at the season average time, we'll figure out, on average, how long it takes me to guess a Skylander. So it's sort of an experiment for me, and I think it'll be pretty cool for you guys to see as well. Standard 5 episodes, and we may throw in another gimmick in there, but just be on the lookout for that. So yeah. So now I'm going to show you guys my Skylanders they call. Let me move my little table thing forward. This is a bunch of cardboard boxes that we still have. Whoa, from when we got new carpet, just all stacked on top of each other with a piece of cardboard on the top. Hold on, let me adjust this so you guys can get a look. So here we have my Skylanders Day. Oh, pop up. Hold up. Sorry, guys. There's a pop up. Had to close it out. I don't know why things keep popping up. So from Skylanders Day, I really didn't get much because they had pretty slim pickings. All I got was Kaboom, and then the Light Rocket Trap with Rebel Lobgoblin, as well as this poster, which has little flyer for light and dark. On the back, or on the front, I don't know which one's the front and which one's the back. It has a comic. It's called Light Show, and basically it's just Chef Pepperjack and Nightlight fighting. I won't show it to you because of quality issues, but I will talk to you about. I'll tell you what it says. So the first scene, Chef Pepperjack is attacking a Mabu. He says, "You know what they say, little Mabu? If you can't stand the heat, get out of the village." The Mabu are saying, "Run, and my fur is getting singed." Then Chef Pepperjack comes in and says, "Chef Pepperjack likes it hot, hot, hot." And then Nightlight appears. He says, "Hey, who turned on the lights?" Nightlight says, "That would be me, Nightlight, armed with the glorious power of the light element." Sounds to me like someone's overcooked. Ain't no such thing as a light element. And then Nightlight replies, and this is pretty interesting. There have always been light and dark elements, but after the core of light was destroyed, the light and dark realms were cut off from Skylands. But thanks to the explosion when you and the rest of your Doom Raiders broke out of Cloudcracker prison, we've returned. Which is too bad for you. Chef Pepperjack then says, attack, says you, attack. And then this little plant spiky things start attacking. Then he says, we're serving pain for dinner and hurt for dessert. Meanwhile, Nightlight beats up all the bad guys and says, when I was away from Skylands, I could have easily lost hope. But I didn't. And he says, if you think you can win, you don't know Jack. Or sorry, that's what Pepperjack says. And then Nightlight says, I learned to never give up. And then Pepperjack says, you then prepare to get beaten by my beaters. Oh, Pepperjack's got a recipe for victory. Last page here. And then he says, and the main ingredient is my famous explosive peppers. And then he throws the peppers. And then Nightlight says, for a chef, you're really not so hot. And then Pepperjack says, I've been beaten. And then the Mabu say, saved by a real knight. And then Nightlight says, I've been gone too long, but now that I'm back, I'll make sure that the villains of Skylanders see the light. Oh, my lights just died on me. That's kind of ironic. My lights just went out. Okay. So, yep, that was given out free to the first 25 customers at Skylanders Day. So, in addition to that, I got Tough Luck from Walmart, which we went to later that day. And then earlier, back for my birthday, I had gotten a $25 Amazon gift card, and I just now spent it on these two guys, Cobra Cadabra and Trailblazer. And now I'm going to do an unboxing. And I actually have a knife here to help me unbox these guys. For some reason, Trailblazer actually was broken in the package. Well, she wasn't broken. Or, no, it's a he. The figure wasn't broken, but the packaging was broken. So, we're going to start with Kaboom. I don't know how helpful this knife is going to be. Oh, it's not really going to do anything with the Trapmaster. These things are so hard to get undone, the Trapmasters. New Skylander smell! Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Show you the sticker and card, the sticker and the card first. There you go. Can't really see it too well. Anyways, he's got 240 strength, 80 defense, 90 speed, and 160 luck. Here we are. Here is Kaboom in all of his glory. Lovely. Next up, we're going to unbox Tough Luck. Look at how fast I did that. More new Skylander smell. Here's the sticker and the card. 90 strength, 100 defense, 100 speed, and doesn't surprise me, 250 luck. With a near perfect paint job. Apparently, the crystal clear version of her has now been sighted in the US. So that's nice. And then here we have Tough Luck. Her packaging says it's your lucky day. But apparently she says, or just like, seems like she says some packaging has a misprinted catchphrase. And I can't remember if it's your lucky day is her, or no. There's deal with it and it's your lucky day. Deal with it is her actual catchphrase, but a lot of the packages say it's your lucky day. So it's kind of strange. Next up, I think I'm going to do Trailblazer. It should be real easy, but I'll still just use the knife just to speed things up. It's a really good way to cleanly remove the packaging with doing minimal damage to the actual box. So a pocket knife is really actually an effective way to get a Skylander out of the packaging. So here we have basically as close to perfect as we can get it backing. And then we have Trailblazer, but first let's look at her sticker and her card. I mean, I keep saying her. I keep meaning to say he. I know it's a he. I really do. There's the card. 100 strength, 100 defense, 140 speed, and 40 luck. Pull the trash can over here, put some of my trash away. Here's the actual figure. Looks pretty good. And now on to Cobra Kadabra. Again, near perfect backing. I should start opening all mine with knives. I love new Skylander smell. And then here we have the sticker and the card. 60 strength, 120 defense, 70 speed, and 130 luck. And then here is Cobra Kadabra. He looks different than I thought he would for some reason. I don't know. Let me be a responsible citizen here and throw away that stuff. And finally, we have the light rocket trap. Let me try to open this one with a knife as well. Okay. All right. That was my great-grandfather's pocket knife. And then here we have the light rocket trap with Rebel Lobgoblin in it. And I hear, yep, correct. That looks cool. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put this one in as a little holder. All right, there we go. So that's pretty much my Skylanders Day haul. Again, it's Kaboom, Trailblazer, Tough Luck, Cobra Kadabra, and then of course Rebel Lobgoblin. So that's it for my haul. Next up, I'm going to be showing you something that I find kind of interesting. And it was the first ever Toys to Life thing that I think I may have ever seen. And you could kind of call it Toys to Life, and it doesn't exactly work anymore. It's quite old, actually. I've had it since I was like, yeah, I've had it for like 7 years, and it really wasn't all that well made to begin with, and it really didn't work all that well when I first got it. But still, it's pretty cool. And I don't actually know the official name of it, but I bought it at a mall about 30 minutes away from where I live. Or at least I think it was. Some of you may know this, but most of you probably won't. This thing. It is a Pokemon game. And these things open up. I'll turn that off to avoid copyright. Yes. So basically, you bought these little figures. These little Pokemon figures. I have Typhlosion, a Blastoise, a Sceptile, a Blaziken, and a Charizard. And what you would do is you would take this little console and you would press this button, and then you would take your little Pokemon figure, you'd put it on there, and then you would play as that Pokemon. And it was pretty ingenious, and I thought it was really, really cool. Unfortunately, now it doesn't read them correctly. But this is what I would honestly consider the very, very first Toys to Life figure ever. Even though even though it really wasn't that good of a game, I still find it quite unique in that I had never seen anything like it. And now we just take that type of stuff. And even though it was never wireless, still I kind of call it Toys to Life. So that's really pretty much it as far as what I had planned for this live stream. I thought it would actually take a little bit longer, but apparently not. So yeah, that's pretty much it for what I had planned for this live stream. So I really hope that you enjoyed this, guys. This is really fun, and I would really love to do more of these live streams in the future someday. So I'll try to come up with a concrete date, but it'll probably be sometime in like mid-March or something like that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I really, really, really do hope that you enjoyed this. And if any of you are just now coming in and being like, oh, we missed it, well, you can go back and you can watch it from the beginning. But that's pretty much all I have planned, and thank you for watching. So this has been Portal Master 9351, first ever live stream. I really hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.